Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Akashik, and we got a lot to discuss, so let's get into it. Today's topic, take charge of your emotions, take charge of your life, has to do with how your emotions are ruling you and you don't even know it. Your emotions are on autopilot and they are running you when instead you should be controlling them. Let's explore this topic together. First off, let me try to explain to you how emotions are working on you, especially the negative ones. Let me give you an example. You are going about your day without a care in the world. You're in a good mood, cleaning the house, when suddenly you notice your significant other has left a plate of food on the table, and your first thought is, I can't believe they left that there. How lazy is that? In frustration, right there. That thought. That small amount of frustration sparked negative energy in the mind. And that energy from the mind goes down to the body where the emotions live. And the frequency of the energy of that thought matches with the frequency of the energy of anger. And anger lifts his head and says, "What's up?" Anger absorbs that energy sent from the mind, and in turn sends its own energy back up to the mind, amplified. The mind then takes this negative energy in, and then the mind has a bigger and stronger thought, and it says, I told them not to do this. They don't listen to me. That amplified thought energy is sent back down to the body with even more amplified energy, and anger receives it and says, now we're talking. This yo-yo effect back and forth and on, and it keeps going until before you know it, all you're seeing is red. And now you're ready to take somebody's head off over a simple plate of food. 9 times out of 10, this is how domestic violence cases happen. People are getting caught up in this emotional feedback loop, and they are unaware of what's happening to them. Think about it like this. Whatever thought you have in the mind, the body will have a reaction equal to the intensity of that thought, and vice versa, body to the mind. Just think about it. Whenever you are mad, what happens to the body? Your heart rate rises, your body temperature rises, your muscles tense up, your facial expression changes. Conversely, what happens when you're expressing love? Your heart rate slows, your body remains calm, your muscles relax, and your facial expression is pleasant. And once again, you're not even aware or in control of this. You are on autopilot. I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to beat it into your consciousness. What you are aware of, you are in control of. What you are not aware of is in control of you. You are a slave to what you are not aware of, and what you are aware of, you're free of it. Please understand that. Emotions are derived from lack of awareness and programmed identifications. For more on that, you should check out my video last week on finding yourself within yourself. Great video. A lot of information in that. So this is the thing. God gave man the gift of love and kindness. Man gave itself the gift of cruelty and hatred. If you really think about it, there's only one reason you're not always in happiness and bliss. It's because you're focusing on what you don't have, or else you would always be in blissful happiness. So instead of having and spreading joy, love, and happiness, what do we spread? We spew anger, resentment, fear, and hatred. These things are all poisons. And because we live in lack, we try to spread these poisons. I mean, look at the state of the world we live in today. But here's the kicker. Anger, resentment, fear, and hatred are poisons you think you're giving to someone. But in fact, you're drinking them and you expect someone else to die. It doesn't work like that. You drink poison, you die. You don't hurt others, you hurt yourself. This is why Jesus' teachings say, love thy neighbor as you love yourself. He knew when the Buddha would get angry, when the Buddha would get anger from someone, he would say, thank you for the gift, but I cannot accept it. What happens to a gift not accepted? It stays with the giver. This is why Jesus said, if someone slaps you on the right cheek, give them your left cheek. He knew the only way hatred could work is if you accept it and return it with hatred. Every time the Buddha would come into town, there would always be someone who would show hate to the Buddha. They would even spit on him and he wouldn't react. And every time it happened, the next day, the person would come before the Buddha and they would beg for his forgiveness. These great masters understood how power and energy works. Energy flows where attention goes. So, what's the first thing we need to do to get past these type of emotions? Well, the first thing is to understand them. Knowledge defeats ignorance, just as light always conquers darkness. So, here are some things about emotions you may or may not know. Control is the mask of insecurity. Envy is the mask of hatred. Control over another is the highest form of insecurity. When someone is insecure, especially in a relationship, they will turn to control to force their way of thinking on others. People who use this behavior are afraid to let others be who they are. Hatred consists that the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and the friend of my enemy is my enemy. We are seeing this play out in American politics right now. If you disagree with somebody politically, what do you see people doing on social media? If you like this person, unfriend me. I'm blocking you, and so on and so on. Hatred rejoices in the pain of the enemy, but suffers in the joy of the enemy. Hatred towards a product of love is envy with jealousy. Anger and frustration are quick to give power. When you feel these two, you jump. But they also unbalance you. Fear is an immediate emotion. When fear is present, there's no thought, only immediate reaction. So this is something you must understand. You have one brain, but it consists of two sides. We call them the emotional and the logic brains, or the hot and the cool brains. Both brains are needed, but unfortunately, without training, both sides cannot function at the same time. When your emotions are high, your rational brain goes out the door. And when you are thinking in pure logical terms, you have very little emotions. And unfortunately, most of the human judgments are based solely off emotions. And the things we perceive as pleasure and pain are purely imaginative. That which we perceive as good is in harmony with our individual perception of nature. Conversely, that which what we perceive as bad is in contrary to our nature. Good and bad is totally a view of a personal perception. Most of us are at the mercy of emotions. However, there are a few who have learned to flip emotions and have made emotions their servants. You see this mostly with athletes like Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods, Tom Brady, etc., and military personnel like Navy SEALs and Green Berets. One man, though, who has totally mastered the ability to harness any emotion on demand is a man named David Goggins. This man, he has the unique ability to tap into the valley of emotions whenever he chooses. He has literally flipped the process of mind and emotions upside down. He uses this gift to overcome and accomplish amazing feats of will and endurance. However, he's rare. So what do the rest of us do? How do we deal with these negative emotions of anger, fear, anxiety, and hatred? One answer is this. It's from the great sage Sadhguru. Do not try to eliminate anger, fear, anxiety, and hatred. All these negative feelings. You can't, it's impossible. The important thing is for you to take charge of two faculties in your life: memory and imagination. This is why most people are suffering. What happened 10 years ago in memory, they're still suffering. And through their imagination, they are creating futures that hasn't even happened yet. So they're already suffering. So then people are trying to handle fear and misery. They are trying to handle consequences, while the source is simply that you have not taken control of the faculties of memory and imagination. Powerful stuff. Remember, people who stress stay in the past, memory, while people with anxiety live in an unwritten future, imagination. So now that you have knowledge of the root of emotions, what are you going to do about it? What changes will you make to be better? It's one thing to have knowledge, but it's only power if you use it. Let's end the lesson with that. I hope you got something out of today's lesson. If so, it would be my honor if you like and subscribe. It promotes the YouTube algorithm to push this information out to more people. And that's the goal, to awaken as many people as we can so we can all create heaven here and now, not some, Thank you all, and I hope you all have a blessed week. And until we meet again, my name is Akashic, and namaste.